What is up and welcome? It is Tuesday. It's Tyler and Cal on Tuesday. That means it's Taco Tuesday.
Never getting rid of that, am I?
Right here on the DLF YouTube channel. I'm excited as always to be joined by the man, the myth, the robot, Tyler Carp,
the robot
right here to my right, as I referred to him on Trade Addicts last night. Tyler, I'm excited to talk to you. We've got week 6 in the books here. Six weeks. We've got some buys coming up. I mean, this is like buy-apocalypse coming up this week. But how are you doing on this wonderful Tuesday, Mr. Carp?
Oh, I'm great. I mean, right? What am I like? Yeah.
Right. Sure. Yeah. I guess.
Buy-apocalypse is a little bit tough, but
there's so many teams on buy. We're gonna get to some of that, obviously, but yeah, a lot of interesting things. And look, what we're doing here in the show is we're here to answer questions. Like, this is the moment in time. We talked about this for a couple of weeks. You guys are figuring out if your teams are contenders or pretenders in your dynasty leagues, and this is the time where you should be active making trades. There's been a lot of activity in my leagues personally. Hopefully that's happening in your leagues too. If not, you need to be the person maybe to get out there and be aggressive and make some trades. One of the things we want to make sure we talk about, though, we're not getting questions if you submit them into Twitter. I don't understand why. Twitter just, they're not good at this yet. I believe in them. They'll get better, Tyler, but they're not good at it yet. If you want questions, we need you to come on over to YouTube. The link is right there on, I know it's on my page. I know it's on Tyler's page. Go find the YouTube link and get us on YouTube. Anything else before we get rolling with a couple questions coming in here?
No, go for it.
All right. So how this works is if you have questions, we want you to get them in. Just like OMZH did here. He wants to know if we're considering Kadarius Toney a legit top 20 wide receiver. Now we need to know what's going on with the injury. If you have any updates on that you've heard, Tyler. But
No.
Are you viewing him close to this range?
No, I'm not. And I don't know why I would, really, to be honest.
Yeah. 20 is hard. Like, if you start naming 20 wide receivers,
you'll get to 20 you really like before you get to him.
20 is hard. So what range are we thinking of? Like, do you want to give a little sneak preview of where you've got him?
Sure. I mean, here, let me give the people a couple of things. So let me tell you, first of all, to give you an idea of how not close he is to wide receiver 20. I can tell you who wide receiver 20 is.
Okay.
Maybe some people would think he's close to this player. I mean, wide receiver 20 for me currently is Chase Claypool.
Ooh. Okay.
So maybe some people would think he is close to that player.
He wouldn't be that high for me. I'm not a guy that's very big on, you're much higher on Claypool than I am. I don't think I'd have Claypool there, but I don't think we're ready to anoint Kadarius Toney as in that league yet.
All right. I have Kadarius Toney at wide receiver 34.
34.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. That seems about right. We need a little bit more data on him, I think, before we start putting him higher in that range.
Yeah. I have Rashad Bateman at 32. Allen Robinson at 33. So those two just ahead. And then just behind, I have Elijah Moore, who's coming up in a future question at 35 but a decently big gap. Tony's kind of the end of a tier and Moore starts the next. And then Darnell Mooney at 36.
Trogdor, I'm pumped that Trogdor is in the house. I saw a question come in from him. We'll get to that in just a second. OMZ, thank you for your question. Thank you for viewing. If you're watching this, go ahead and make sure you're subscribed. Hit that thumbs up. Give us some comments. At least stop in and say hi if that's you and you're watching this.
Yeah, say hi and comment on my man bun.
What's up, fellas? Hope your Tuesday has been swell. That's a word you don't hear very much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably born too late for that word.
Ryan, are we moving on from Elijah Moore in Dynasty? If so, what for? Same with Fields and Superflex.
Man. Elijah Moore.
It's too early. Too soon.
It's frustrating. I don't think so. I don't think I'd like to move on from Elijah Moore. But, man, it's tough. It's tough. But no, how are you going to sell? I mean, you're going to sell at a base. I'm not doing a sell low on Elijah Moore, and that's what you'd be doing. So it's a no on moving on from Elijah Moore.
Where are we in terms of like how much time needs to pass before we start thinking about moving him down? I mean, we know he's not healthy.
Already have.
Okay. We know he's not healthy. Like, and I know that's one of your things. Like, we don't like failure. You talk about it all the time. We got to get our failure shirts. We don't want that. And so far, his season has been a failure based on what we expected from him in the preseason. But I know you also have the caveat of you like to make sure that like it's not health related.
Why is he what's not healthy though? What's the problem?
I just know that he had a couple of weeks there.
He's healthy now.
Okay.
So if he doesn't start to produce after this bye week, then he's out of excuses. And then he's going to start losing value.
Fair enough. Patrick Pichette comes in. Appreciate the question, Ryan, by the way, and Patrick, you as well. Who are a few guys?
Let me just say one more thing about Elijah Moore.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I want you to show, if he's going to keep that value, you have to show something. Something. You can't be Jalen Reagor and show nothing. I've learned my lesson with that. If you show nothing, then we have to move on from you. You have to show something. Otherwise, I mean, he can't be a dynasty wide receiver 3. He's going to have to be valued outside the top 40 wide receivers if he shows nothing. And right now he's shown nothing. So just take it as that simple. I mean, his value would be significantly lower if he shows nothing. So it would be nice if he did something, but he hasn't done that. So we'll see.
Are we judging him based on what we expected? Because after Jamison Crowder re-signed, we expected him to have a little bit of a slower start and a slower build, and for us to be more patient in Dynasty, right?
No one expected to use Elijah Moore in fantasy in 2021.
Yeah,
but he hasn't done anything at all. He has to do something.
Yeah, it's tough with some of the. It's tough with some of what he's getting out of his quarterback right now, out of the offense itself. Like, there's just a lot. It's tough.
I get it, but you don't get years to produce now. You
get
that's like true. A year and like 4 games, and then people start to give up on you.
Patrick wants to know who are a few guys that you really want to sell high and a few guys that you really want to get more shares of. Is there anybody that you're thinking of in those terms right now?
Sell high? Cortland Sutton and Noah Fant. Please.
Okay.
Get him out. Get him off my team. Those two. Teddy Bridgewater. Not good. Not good lately. Not good. And when Jerry Jeudy comes back, we saw who Teddy Bridgewater really wanted to throw to all summer and in game 1. It was Jerry Jeudy the whole time. And once Jerry Jeudy comes back, you're going to see the value of Cortland Sutton and Noah Fant go in the toilet. So I would get out of them now. I would move on now. Those two. Those are the big 2 that I just immediately. They had good games last week. Don't wait for them to play Cleveland this week. Cleveland is not going to be able to move the ball at all. Denver is going to run the ball all game. It's going to be a run-heavy game. I don't expect much from Sutton or Fant this week. So, yeah, I would get out of Sutton and Fant right now. Those are my 2 biggest sell highs, I would say. And then what's the second part? I want to get more shares. Who I want to get more shares? Jerry Jeudy. But if I can't get more shares of Jerry Jeudy, who am I buying right now? It's a good question. I mean, Chase Claypool, like I was before. There's a discount. He had a terrible game this week. It might be a good time. Devonta Smith. I really believe in the talent and him as the number 1 weapon. I don't know how much of a discount you can get, but I am still interested in acquiring Devonta Smith. Jalen Waddle, I think you had your chance and it's gone. I think you had your chance to get Jalen Waddle at a value.
Yeah.
I think that opportunity is gone. I did say to buy him. I think he was my answer to this question a couple of times. So he's someone I liked, but unfortunately, I think now the price might be a little high. But yeah, those are a couple of players I'd be looking to get in on.
What do you think about selling high on a guy like Marquise Brown right now?
I don't think now is the time. I think you had your chance.
You think it's past time?
No, I just think you had your chance to sell high on him, and now Bateman is back already, and he led the team in targets in game 1. So as someone who still believes that Brown is going to far outproduce Bateman rest of season, and as someone who'd rather have Brown in Dynasty, I no longer would like to sell high. You had your chance.
Yeah.
Now it's not selling high. Now I think it would be selling low. So not Hollywood Brown.
Trogdor chimes in. Cal, I disappointedly saw some doubt creeping in with you last week regarding Fant. Are you back with me on the bandwagon? I am back 100%. He is officially on the season now. He is outscoring TJ Hawkinson and Gesicki and Pitts and a bunch of people right there. He's number 6 in tight ends on the season. I am back in. Noah Fant for life. I'm with you, Trogdor.
Oh, good. I'm still out.
M. Yeckersley, not related to Dennis Eckersley. I'm down CMC, Carson, Gibson in my only league in Dynasty. I do have JD McKissick, so I'm good with 1 RB slot. Maybe.
Maybe.
Who should I choose for the other? Jamal Williams, Marlon Mack, or Devontae Freeman?
This week?
Ouch.
Well, he's not going to. Marlon Mack's going to get traded this week. So Jamal Williams.
So he's saying in Dynasty. So yeah.
So still Jamal Williams.
Trading. I mean, starting. I don't know. Freeman might actually not.
No. I can't.
Murray might be out. Look,
and if Murray's out, then Tyson Williams will be back in. So you're going to have to pick from a. It's going to be a 3-way committee, no matter what.
Yeah.
So no. I'm not doing that.
Omzi, thanks, guys. Thank you. We appreciate all the love, and we appreciate you tuning in. Trogdor moved Elijah and a second for Judy. What do you think about that?
Judy.
Yeah.
Judy.
Yeah. What are your expectations for Judy? Like, when do you think he's going to be back? Like, do you think he's going to play this week?
No, I don't. I think he's going to play week 8. Week 8.
Okay. All right. I can't wait. I've got him in so many teams. I need him to get back. Like, I need him to hurry.
I'm very excited.
Thoughts on Gaskin? Oh, he's a tough one. Forced to play him this week due to injuries and buys.
I mean, if you're forced to play him, you can play him. But
who is forcing you to play him, Noah? And like, do you need our help? Like,
but this week, this week the options are so thin.
Yeah.
So, you can play him if you have to.
The teams on bye next week. So we had 4 teams on bye this week. The teams on bye in week 7. Bills, some good fantasy options there. Cowboys, good fantasy options there. Vikings, Steelers, Chargers, Jaguars. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you're losing. I mean, James Robinson, Najee Harris, Zeke, Cook, and Eckler are RB1s.
Yeah.
And Moss and Singletary are 2 somewhat startable players. So, like, Gaskin is like, you can start him if you have to, because you might not have a choice.
I think that's kind of the thing is, like, I think you could be choosing between Myles Gaskin and, one of those Jamal Williams or, somebody like that. What do you think so far that we've seen? I mean, he's had some big games, obviously, or, one, the 31.9. Other than that, I mean, he's played 24 snaps this past week.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's not great.
Not good.
Is it just a matter of, like, I mean, what does he need better matchups? Like, what do you think the coaching staff is just falling out of favor with him?
What matchup could have been better than Jacksonville?
Right.
Atlanta is next.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't ever trust Gaskin, but you can play him if you have to.
Done. Just done.
In Dynasty, yes, but in redraft, I don't know what you do.
Somebody's offering you a third. Are you?
Thirds are worthless, basically. So no.
Okay. All right. Just trying to see where you are. Anuna. I just traded Waller, Zach Moss, and Justin Tucker. We don't get very many kicker questions here.
That's good.
Yeah, and Justin Tucker for Alvin Kamara. What are your thoughts? I have Pitts as a replacement for Waller, and I got Boswell.
Whatever. I mean, is there premium here? Probably not, right? So, sure. I don't. It's a lot of players I don't want. I don't want Waller and I don't want Kamara. Those are players I'd be moving on from. Very hard, actually, trying to sell them.
I think this is a good move. I think if we're redrafting, you take Kamara over Waller.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Moss gives you something though. So
something, but yeah.
I mean,
but
it's hard.
That's a good
Waller
upgrade.
hasn't been any good lately.
My question is, Anuna, why were you rostering 2 kickers? That is not a good idea. Do not roster 2 kickers ever.
Yeah, I don't know if this is redraft or dynasty either, but it's kind of meh.
Don't do that.
Redraft, I like him more.
T-Fish, is it time to drop Teddy Bridgewater in a 1 QB league? Listen to the show every Taco Tuesday. Thank you, T-Fish. Sure. Appreciate you commenting.
Sure. I mean, if it's dynasty, if it's relatively shallow, you need the space, sure. I have no problem with that. If you need the space.
Was it last week we had somebody giving us all the advanced statistics on Teddy Bridgewater?
Yeah, well, those have probably changed after this week.
Yeah.
Not good.
Those are.
Not so good.
He does have Cleveland this week. Does Cleveland have anybody healthy?
They have plenty of defense healthy, but offense not so much. I don't think he's going to really throw the ball at all.
Yeah, maybe not.
You can cut Teddy. If you have to in a 1 QB league, if Dearness Johnson is on your waiver wire and you need, you don't have any running backs this week because of buys and you have to cut Teddy Bridgewater, those are the decisions you have to make and you have to try to win. So yeah, I mean, if you need to.
I like it. Henry Muto, appreciate you tuning in here. Henry, how about Darrell Henderson looking good? How about that?
Oh, he is looking pretty good. Looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I've moved him up in my dynasty.
Do you think he's giving himself an opportunity to be the starter or at least force their hand with Akers next year?
No, I don't. I still think that Akers will be the starter.
He's performed really well. I mean, this past week he scored 24 points, like 21.
Yeah, he
rushes,
still hasn't
78.
been as good. He still hasn't been as good as Akers was, and he isn't the workhorse type that Akers is.
Double-digit points every single week for Hendo. Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I like Henderson now, and the fact that his NFL career is obviously going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think 2022 is going to be frustrating because I think that this could be like Chubb and Hunt all over again, having 2 very talented running backs on the same team.
Yeah. I had somewhere I was going to pivot with this question, but actually somebody in the chat read my mind and knows exactly where I was going. So I'm not going to, I will use their question when we get to that. I will say he's got Detroit this week, man. That is a really good.
Yeah. I'll give the people for this week. I have Darrell Henderson, start sit ranked at running back 6.
He's got some pretty good matchups, even going into the playoffs. I mean, this could be one of those guys that if he's sitting on a 1-5 team, you might want to go after if you're a contending team.
I would rather have Darrell Henderson in Dynasty than Miles Sanders. I'd rather have Darrell Henderson in Dynasty than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I like him.
Mm-hmm. P2R, Taco Tuesday. I'm late, but glad to be here. Ready for another great show. We appreciate you tuning in. Hey, better late than never. Better late than never. We appreciate it. Ed says,
in a
instead of just dropping Teddy, try to get a pick for him. Any pick.
In a 1 QB, you're not going to.
I've been trying that with Ben Roethlisberger on one of my dynasty leagues, and I'm just going to drop him.
It's almost not worth the effort. I feel like this just gets your league mates mad at you.
Yeah. I offered a 5th. I was trying to get a 5th for him and I couldn't get a 5th.
No, it's sometimes you can get it sometimes, but unless someone needs a quarterback to start, it won't work.
Right. Cutting into Akers workload potentially. That's kind of where I was going with that.
Yeah, we've already talked about this multiple times. But the Rams offense is so good that I think it's going to be frustrating next year. I can already tell you, it's going to be frustrating.
Probably allows them to bring Akers along more slowly if they need to.
Yeah, but I do think that they still intend Akers to be their long-term answer at the position.
I appreciate the clarification here from Anuna. Just basically wanted to make sure that we knew he wasn't holding 2 kickers. So very good.
We appreciate you.
Very glad. Next year, see if you can get your league to
eliminate kickers entirely.
Eliminate kickers all together.
Eliminate them entirely.
Justin chimes in here. Do you prefer J-Rob or Henderson this year and beyond this year? This was the question. This is where I was going.
I prefer J-Rob both this year and beyond this year for multiple reasons. One, younger. 2, think he's better. 3, I'm more afraid of Akers than ETN coming back. And, you know, is that enough reasons?
Let's talk a little bit about J-Rob, because that's where I was going to go in our conversation about Henderson, about some of these running backs who got opportunities based on some injuries in front of them. And, you know, I don't know that obviously Jacksonville didn't need to spend a first-round pick on a running back. It becomes very obvious when you watch Robinson. They do have him. He is going to come back. We don't know what coaching staff is going to be there. At this point, I think the money line would be on it not being Urban Meyer. What is this Jacksonville backfield going to look like next year with Robinson? And ETN's got to be used at some point. They're not getting rid of him. They're not cutting him.
No, they're not going to cut him, but
they can't trade him.
No, they're not going to trade him. I mean, he's just going to be a third down back, and that's it. That's it. That's all he's going to be.
Is this like Rashad Penny all over again?
Yes.
And Chris Carson? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
What it reminds me of.
This is exactly what it is.
Alec, I don't know how to say the rest of that, Alec, but he said he got offered T. Higgins, Rashad Bateman, and Brandon Ayuk, a second and a third. Oh, Herbert and Alex Collins for Tony Claypool and a bunch of dropouts.
Take the Higgins side.
Yeah, I don't see the appeal of.
Yeah, I don't see the appeal of the other side.
I want Higgins over Tony and Claypool.
I don't understand this question. It's easily the Higgins side. So just take the deal.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not very close.
Take that deal.
Yeah.
Maybe tell us who the dropouts are, just in case. Tell me what that is.
Yeah, maybe.
Appreciate the question, though. Alec Patrick chimes back in. Tannehill and Fant or TJ Hawkinson and a second and a third. And a second in 2023. 10-team Superflex, half PPR. Let's start with that one, and we'll get the quarterback.
I guess this is no premium, so 10-team Superflex. I'm going to Tannehill and Fant.
Yeah.
Even now, even though Tannehill's been really bad.
Yeah. Man.
It's hard to give up a quarterback without a path to one back at all.
Yeah. And then do you prefer to have Russell Wilson or Matthew Stafford?
Oh, easily Matthew Stafford. It's not even that close anymore.
Yeah, me too.
Easily Matthew Stafford.
Love Russell Wilson, but I'll take Stafford in that situation.
Yeah.
Jesse Riddle. What's up, Jesse? He says, what's up, dudes? Thanks for all you do. Superflex, 12-team PPR, Tua, Dalvin, Aaron Jones, 4, Pat Mahomes, Travis Etienne, and Moss or Chase Edmonds. 3 and 3. Also have Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, Eckler, Keenan, Woods, Cooks, Jones, Kelsey.
Mahomes is worth more than the entire other side.
Yes.
So it's Mahomes.
It is.
I don't want Tua.
I don't really want Tua. I think that's the thing.
I don't want
my
Tua.
biggest takeaway.
I don't want Aaron Jones, and I don't want Dalvin. So I'm not taking, even though this is some valuable players, I'm not trading away Mahomes and Superflex for 3 players I don't want. So Mahomes.
Yeah.
Let alone with these other things.
I can't tell from his question which side he has.
I don't know, but I answered it anyway.
I don't want to trade away Pat Mahomes in a Superflex league unless I'm getting crazy value.
And this is not that.
This is definitely not that. Okay. Clyde Edwards Fillier, maybe is the way we say that.
So I asked someone this question.
Okay.
I'll ask you the same question. Your life is on the line.
Okay.
You're putting together an NFL team. They're playing for your life.
Okay.
You can pick one of these two players to be your starting running back for that game. Would you go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Darrell Williams? Remember, your life is on the line.
This feels like it could be like a lost episode of Squid Game. Have you
I
seen
literally said that the last time I asked this question, that it could be a lost episode of Squid Game. Something almost exactly that. Your life is on the line.
Well, first of all, I'm glad that I get to choose between two LSU backs.
That is good. I didn't even think of that. Good point.
Yep. So that's good. Gosh.
It's hard. The fact that you have to think about it is not good.
It shows you why you should never spend a first-round pick on a running back if you're an NFL team. Right?
There you go.
Why? Don't ever do that. I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's Darrell Williams. It's not even close.
It's probably Williams.
It's Darrell Williams.
All right. Alex says Godwin and Hunter Henry for Goddard and Michael Carter. Who wins?
Can I get context? There's put the next comment.
Oh yeah, tight end premium 1.5.
Right, so go back for me. Okay, yes, so gotcha. 1.5 premium. Now Goddard's value just went up a lot with Ertz being traded, but did it go up enough? So let me look at my rankings for a second because I do rank this.
Talk about that too. Talk about the trade in this context too.
Yeah. Nah, it's not enough. Take Godwin.
Take Godwin. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take Godwin. I mean, I'd rather have Carter than Henry in this format, but I just would much rather have Godwin. I don't have any confidence in Goddard at all. I like him, but I don't have faith.
Yeah. If you're promising me 16 healthy games or however many healthy games, left for Goddard, I like it. I can see it, but I always worry about his health.
Well, I just worry that the Eagles are going to fail to support any weapons.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Jacob Calloway, I have 10 first over the next 3 years. Congratulations. 3 in 2022, 4 in 23, and 3 in 24. I have Lance, Fields, Zach Wilson.
None of that matters.
Yeah. Do I just target best available or forego quarterbacks?
You target the best available. I mean, that's what you do in a rookie draft. You take the best players available to maximize the dynasty value for your team. So
always,
now typically with the way people play, the value in rookie drafts and superflex leagues is often the quarterback. So just keep that in mind. And you can always trade quarterbacks in superflex league. Trust me.
Yeah.
You have extra quarterbacks. You will not have a problem trading them. You will be able to.
Think about like this year, if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I'm stacked at wide receiver, and Harris is gone. You could have taken Etienne or Williams, sure. But like if Jamar Chase is still there, you're taking Jamar Chase, even if you're stacked at wide receiver.
That's right. And, you're not stacked at quarterback necessarily.
No.
We don't know if Lance and Fields and Zach Wilson are going to work out because I have not liked what I've seen from any of those three. They've all lost value since the season started. Fields losing the most.
This is true. This is true.
Fields
Do you have hope that he will recover that?
Three. What?
Do you have hopes that he'll recover that at this point? I mean, no. We're not writing him off.
I do not.
For the year, right?
I'm writing off what some people thought he would be. I don't think that's happening.
Do you think he'll be a top 12 startup pick as far as quarterbacks next season?
Oh, a top 12 dynasty quarterback is still within question, but some people were already putting him near the dynasty first round. And I don't think that's ever going to happen. Personally, I don't think he's ever going to be that. So, I have him dynasty quarterback 12 right now. But in Superflex, I have him 25th overall, so an early third rounder.
I like it.
I've basically changed my Superflex rankings where now my first 8 players are quarterbacks. I really want one of those 8. And they're the 8 you would think they are.
Okay, who are those 8?
Oh, they're the 8 I think you would expect. I mean, Mahomes, Kyler, Allen, Lamar, Herbert, Dak, Trevor Lawrence, and Joe Burrow. Those 8.
Okay. I was curious if you were going to include Burrow in that. All right.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you are.
Burrow's look good.
Yeah.
He's a good and healthy. That's what I wanted to see. He looks good. He looks healthy. He's delivering the ball to Jamar Chase, which is what I wanted. That's what he's doing. He's doing everything he needed to do. He's better. He's exceeded my expectations, so he should move up. I mean, I had him as a borderline first-round starter pick before the season started. So now I feel more comfortable. In a Superflex league, I'd feel more comfortable with Joe Burrow than I would any non-quarterback. Who are you going to take, really? That's more guaranteed. Jefferson or Chase, I guess.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, we also, another way that you can get your question answered on this show is to submit it in via Twitter to the @DLF_ask Twitter account. And I've got a couple in here. One from Ed that says, can you name a few guys that you are done with that we should be looking to sell if they flash?
Okay, good. I like this one. Ed also knows me, so he knows that me being done with a player is common. Clyde Edwards failure. Clyde Edwards failure. I am done with him. Clyde, no more of Clyde Edwards failure. Tua. I'm done. I'm done with Tua. No more Tua for me. He's not their answer. So
is it because
if I can get any way to get out of Tua, I would like to do that.
Is it because he's a lefty?
No, it's because he's not good. It's because he's never been the player he was before he hurt his hip. Never. He hasn't even shown really to me flashes of that guy. Yeah. Never been that guy again. And the interception he threw in that London game is one of the worst interceptions I have ever seen. It's like he threw it right to the defender. No receiver anywhere near where he was throwing it. There was a receiver 10 yards that way and a second defender covering that receiver over the top. He threw it to the defender in front. There was no receiver in the area at all. I don't know what he was doing. And that interception was one of the things that cost them the game. They lost to the Jaguars. I don't want this guy. I don't want this guy as part of my Superflex team. I want him gone. So he can go. Clyde Edwards-Helaire can go. I don't need him. Miles Sanders. I've had enough of Miles Sanders. He can exit my Dynasty portfolio. Those are 3 of them. There are others. Allen Robinson is very concerning. I'd like to move on from Allen Robinson. Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham, if there's any way I could get out of Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't think he's ever going to reconvince me. Tyler Lockett and Robert Woods. I'm done with them. I'd like to move on from those 2, especially Lockett.
Michael Thomas.
Well, that assumes that Michael Thomas is coming back anytime soon.
Well, and that's part of, like, if you hear news that he's coming back and you think it's like somebody might want to jump on, oh, I'm going to come in and make an offer on, like, you hear news that he is coming back, you hit that little button that puts him on the trade block and just see what you can get.
But he's not coming back. Where is he? He's not here. So he's not coming back. So how are you going to do that?
If they flash, I think for him, just a news alert that says he is coming back might be as much of a flash as you get to trade him.
Last time I heard, it's going to be another 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, thank you. But yeah, those are some guys.
Those are good names. If you have anybody else you'd like us to comment on, let us know in the chat right there. I'm going to go back to the live comments. Let's go to Iron Never Live. Should I trade Fant and Mooney for Goddard and a third?
What? No. Fant is worth more than Goddard and Mooney's worth more than the 3rd round pick. So no, absolutely not.
Yeah, give us some context on why you might be thinking this. Iron Never Lies. And
the days that I heard someone say this, maybe it was on DLF, maybe it was on Locked On Dynasty. It was on one of these things that there was a time where, Zach Ertz leaves, Dallas Goedert's top 5 Dynasty tight end. Yeah, that was when it was Carson failure. Now with Jalen cannot throw the ball accurately, that no longer applies. Dallas Goedert has not looked good. And Jalen Hurts has not looked good. So I did not just give Dallas Goddard an incredible amount of value anymore. So I'm absolutely not doing this trade, especially with how good Mooney has looked. So it's a hard no for me.
Ed wants Darrell Williams for one game.
So would I.
Easily.
Yeah, we got to. He can pass block.
He still has juice.
And he can pass block and he can play the goal line. I can just not run the ball. I'd rather have him as my running back.
We need juice. We need lots of juice. Jesse Riddle, I am trading away Tua, Dalvin, Jones for the Mahomes side. I thought Mahomes trumped all, but just double checking. Thanks, guys. We agree. Yes, trade those guys away. Get Mahomes, and you've got him for the next, I don't know, 8 years of being the QB1.
Yeah, no, I would do that, but I do like. In most leagues, you'll be able to. People are running back obsessed. You'll be able to get something back with Mahomes, like you were saying, with this. So do that. He has a follow-up. So just go to that next, then we'll go back to the one above it.
Yeah. Following up, would you rather have Moss or Edmonds in that deal?
Give me Edmonds. I mean, Edmonds has been producing more, and I don't think either of these players has much value after this year. I think Edmonds is going to be, but I actually think Edmonds more likely because I think Edmonds could proceed in a kind of James White plus a little bit role for multiple years. Those kind of players age well. Zach Moss, I think, is just kind of a bust. And so is Devin Singletary. And I think that they're one piece away. We saw that on last night, right? I mean, we saw that. What are they missing? What don't they have? They don't have a running game. They don't have a running back who can actually run the ball. And you say, oh, Josh Allen is a running back, but that's not good enough. That's not good enough. You need a competent running back that you can trust when you need to run the ball, when you need to salt the game away, when you need to do things like that. Zach Moss just doesn't cut it. He's just not good enough. Devin Singletary, average. He's good at some things. He's decent in the passing game. But again, these two are complementary backs. These are backups. You need a starter. They need a starter. So I don't want Moss. So I'd rather have Edmonds.
Okay, wait. Actually, let's go back. Brian, is Thielen a must sell? Pittman, Shepard, Yeah,
these are two completely separate questions. So is Thielen a must sell? Yes. In Dynasty or redraft, I'm worried about him because I'm not sure how far ahead of KJ Osborne and Tyler Conklin he really is. He had one big game last week, but the week before was not good. You're muted.
My bad.
It's all good.
Second part, Michael Pittman, Sterling Shepard, or Jacoby Myers for the rest of the season. So just thinking season long.
Okay, so to get the easy part out of the way, I'd rather have Michael Pittman than Jacoby Myers. That's easy. We know that Paris Campbell's probably going to miss the rest of the season. T.Y. Hilton comes in one game and already has a new quad injury. And Pittman was still, there, even though he didn't produce as much, he was still the number one weapon, in the passing game. So I'd rather have Pittman than Myers. When it comes to Shepard, it's kind of like because he had 14 targets. I mean, he was great with everyone else out. How much time is Kenny Golladay going to miss? Because they've already ruled out Golladay and Toney for this week, essentially. They said they're not going to have either. How much time are Golladay and Toney going to miss? Is it going to be 1 week, 2 weeks? Because until they come back, it's Shepard by a mile. Shepard, if he's alone, if it's just him with no Golladay and no Toney, Shepard this week is a mid wide receiver 2. Way better than Pittman. But given that I think that those players are going to come back relatively soon, neither was put on IR. I don't think either will be. I would have to go Pittman first. It's close between Shepard and Myers. I'll go Shepard second and Myers third. Shepard always produces when he's healthy.
Poor Myers.
Yeah.
Did you see he had a touchdown that called back?
I did see that, yeah. And then he scored a 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Yeah, for this week, I have Shepard at wide receiver 19.
Okay.
So I would love to play him this week.
Myers still looking for that first career NFL receiving touchdown.
Yeah, I do have Myers at I still got to readjust these ranks, but
let's go to Jacob Calloway's question. Swift and Toney for DJ Moore and 2 first. Made this trade earlier. Curious on your thoughts. 12-team Superflex.
Oh, it's easily the DJ Moore side.
Easily. Very easily. The DJ Moore
DJ
side.
Moore and Swift are really not that different in value. And two firsts are worth way more than Tony.
Right. Yeah. Very good. If you got the DJ
Tony's
Moore,
not even worth a first yet.
No.
2 games from Tony in a Superflex is just not enough. You said this on Trade Addicts, and I agree. I mean, I was the one who made the Tony trade.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah, that was me.
And
I was the one who traded him away for Tony and a 2023 third for a first. I'm the one who made that deal.
Nice.
So clearly, I don't think Tony's worth the first either in Superflex. I think, for me, I think it's the kind of thing where, like, Tony is worth, like, I would not trade Tony and a second for a first, but I would trade Tony and a third for a first. So he's worth somewhere between a first minus a third and a first minus a second, if that makes sense. Somewhere in
100%.
there. Yeah.
I'm with you.
But in this case, you're getting essentially an entire extra. Like, if it were Swift and Tony for more and a first, that would be a fair trade. But
I like it.
There's an entire extra first that you're getting with DJ Moore for free.
I agree.
Yeah.
Great trade if you're on the side of the first right there.
Yeah.
Gain Josh, what do you think about the 2022 rookie class? Is it worth stacking first in 2022 as a rebuilder?
Okay. People say the 2022 class is bad, right? Just ignore those people.
I'm still here, but hang.
All right. Just ignore those people. Those people can say that all they like, but no matter how bad the class is, every year, this happens every year. Say, oh, the class is bad, the class is good. You get on the clock in the first round of a rookie draft, people want those picks every single time.
Every time.
Every time. The first only, though. The first only. Not necessarily the second, but, you know, the second varies from year to year. In 2020, people like the second. 2021, not so much. 2022, it's going to be even worse.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the year to stockpile necessarily a bunch of second rounders, but first will always have value. Always. There's always going to be 10, 12 players that people want and are very into. So no issue with the firsts.
Yes. And then if you get to a place where you want to take that first and flip it for a first the next year, fine.
And that's what I'd like to do. When you're on the clock, if you can take some of those later firsts and turn them into 2023 firsts, this will be a year where I'll be recommending, sure, go trade the 111 straight up for a blind 2023 first. I'd be fine with that this year. Like, if you can get that done, and I'd be fine doing it.
Same here. Ed says, yeah, it's a big trade. He wants those 2 first pretty easily. And
it was a great deal.
Great deal. Justin, Swift for Zeke and James Robinson. Is Swift really a top handful? I don't know what handful RB.
Handful. I mean, okay.
Guy picks up all his points in garbage time.
This trade is not unfair.
Detroit doesn't have much else other than garbage time, so it doesn't mean that he can't produce in non-garbage time. It's just that, we don't have a lot of examples of that.
This trade is not unfair, though.
No.
Like, this trade is about right. I do like getting James Robinson on my team long term. This trade's about right. I have Swift Dynasty RB3.
Okay, interesting. So, who's 1?
JT.
Who's 2?
Harris.
Okay. Wow. Lots of movement there. I like it. Okay.
But this trade's about right.
Ed agrees with you. Swift is for real. Ahead of CMC. I think that's right. Waller and CEH or Michael Pittman and Hunter Renfrow. What? 1.5 tight end premium.
Waller alone. Waller alone is worth more than that.
Yeah,
easily. Waller's actually worth more than all 3 of these players combined in 1.5 tight end premium.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather have Waller than Pittman, CH, and Renfrow in this format.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Thank you for the question, Philip. Double dipping, which is totally fine. Make sure, if you're watching this, don't think you can only, there's no limit. You can.
Oh, yeah. As long as you like and subscribe, you can ask as many questions as you want.
as many as you want. So T. Higgins, 2022 first, or Joe Mixon and a 2024 first. It's an interesting question. We haven't had many like.
Yeah, we haven't had great questions like this. I don't really want T. Higgins though. So
why not?
Why would I want him?
Because he's good.
No. He might be good, but that doesn't matter. When you drop,
it matters a little.
No, it doesn't though. When you drop a DeAndre Hopkins-sized bomb on a receiving core, everyone else is eating scraps. So unfortunately, T. Higgins, good as he might be, has had his value is suffering now. So I'll take the Mixon side.
How off have the targets been so far? Has it been that bad?
It's not the targets though.
Well, he did miss. He's got some missed weeks in there.
To me, I think
he hit double digits once.
But if this is the target share in Chase's first 6 games, if this is what it looks like in Chase's first 6 games, if this is what it's like to begin with, we have a big problem here. Because I only think that Chase is going to increase his target share, right? He's been so good that why wouldn't he get more? So I'm highly concerned about T. Higgins. He's not someone I'm interested in acquiring. So I'll take the Mixon side here. If it were Higgins and a 22 first for Mixon, then I would take the Higgins side. But if you're giving me that first, it's very far away. It's enough to get me back to Mixon. Mixon looked excellent in the last game. I think that Mixon is going to hang around as a dynasty asset for a couple of years. Maybe he's not going to be a high-end player, but that 24 first, it's an asset that exists, so it's enough to make me go to that side.
This is obviously small sample here, but he is averaging slightly more targets per game than Jamar Chase.
I don't care.
He's not the team that's going to throw more than they have so far.
I don't care. I think that the gap is going to become bigger. Look at who's produced more.
Yeah.
Like they're going to go to, you're going to increase. Look at what happened to Justin Jefferson last year. His share of market share of the offense increased as the year went on because, and then is continuing to increase and continues to be high because he's a baller. And, Jamar Chase is a stud and I think he's going to be one of the best receivers in the league, and T. Higgins is not. So he's good, but not great. So I'm worried about T. Higgins. He might be a buy. I just don't like him in this deal. I'm not like saying I don't want him at all. I just not in this deal. Well, if there's another deal, maybe.
Is he ahead or behind Claypool for you?
Behind.
Yeah. See, I'd rather have Higgins than Claypool.
I lean that Higgins is a more talented player, but Jamar Chase is just a big problem. Jamar Chase is such a big problem that he's so good. The problem is that Tyler Boyd is still there, and Tyler Boyd is annoying and
leads the team in receptions.
Right, but the Steelers' Tyler Boyd just went on IR. So if Juju were still there, I would probably prefer Higgins, but he's not, so I'll prefer Claypool.
Gotcha. Brian, this one I think is pretty easy. Darrell or Gaskin rest of the season. I have CEH and Gaskin, but I don't know if I should drop Gaskin for Darrell in case he becomes RB1.
You got to. Yeah. It's just redraft. You got to win. We're in week 7. I mean, this is it. It's time. It's time to start stacking up victories.
Yep.
This week I have Darrell Williams at RB7.
Woo.
I have Gaskin at 27.
Yeah, you want Darrell.
You cannot. You have to have RB7 for the week. Has to be on your team. So if it means dropping Gaskin, you have to. Desperate times call for desperate measures. That's something, people ask me redraft questions. In redraft, it's completely different. You're playing a week-to-week game. If this week, you don't worry about week 8. Right now, we're on week 7. You get to week 8 when you get to week 8. You got to win week 7 before you can do anything about week 8. Dynasty is a completely different game. But in redraft, it's week to week.
Correct. Patrick comes back in, DJ Moore and Josh Jacobs, or Swift and Higgins, redraft PPR.
So Josh Plotter. Well, I'd rather have Swift than DJ Moore, and a redraft. Okay, redraft changes things. Does it though? Well, then in redraft, I want the good running back more.
Mm-hmm.
And redraft is close because Higgins is. I don't expect Higgins to really be usable. I don't expect him to be unusable. I'll take the Swift side barely. Close. So hard. You can't replace running backs with Swift's type production in redraft.
Yeah.
Very close. In Dynasty, I'd take the Swift side.
Moore has been very good. Like he's got, let's see, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the league in receiving yards.
Yeah, no, there's no issue with Moore. It's just, it's hard. The high-end running backs are really what you want to build your team around in redraft.
Yeah.
Swift.
We have 8 wide receivers who are averaging over 10 targets a game. If I asked you those 8, there's no way you could get all 8. There's one, there's no way you would get.
Can I try?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
This is averaging double-digit targets.
Averaging double-digit targets.
Yeah. There's no way. There's one that there's no chance.
All right. Wait. Can I try?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Devontae Adams.
Correct. He's number 2 at 11 targets per game on the nose.
Cooper Kupp.
Number 1, the only one who has all 6 weeks had double-digit targets, 11.3 targets a game.
Okay. Let's see. Man, this is tough. DJ Moore.
DJ Moore, number 5 on that list, averaging 10.5. He's been very consistent.
Damn. This is such a tough game. I don't like this. I don't like this game.
You have to play it.
I know it's true. I did ask to play it. Man, this is brutal. Deebo Samuel.
Yes, he is in there. 10.4. He is number 7 on that list. So yes, he's right there.
This. I do not like this game.
You got half of them.
Keenan Allen.
No.
Oh.
He's just under 9.7. He's close.
Oh, damn. Man. All right, give me the rest of them.
Okay. Number 8 on the list is Deonte Johnson, averaging 10 targets per game. Yep. The thing that pulls him down the most is that week number 5, where he only had 2 targets. That's what pulls him down. Yeah, Debo was 7. Calvin Ridley was 6.
Oh, Ridley. I totally forgot about Ridley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, DJ Moore. Tyreek Hill was 4.
Oh.
Here's the one that you would never get.
Jacoby Myers?
No.
Oh.
He's only played 1 game, and he's got 11 targets in that 1 game.
Dante Pettis.
Dante Pettis.
I'm a Giants fan. You think I once you told me you only played 1 game.
What was that?
I don't know.
He shows up and target him 11 times.
Crazy,
My
man.
Goodness.
It's crazy.
Now, that's among wide receivers, by the way. That's not including tight ends or running backs or whatever. So just in case anybody else is thinking that. Okay. PTR, I need to rebuild. What's the value I should get for Joe Mixon in a 12-team, 1 QB, PPR, no premium league?
Okay. Your probably best approach would probably be to look for a first and a player you like. Probably a wide receiver. You're not going to get 2 firsts. I mean, if you get 2 firsts, I would be fine with that. So you could try to get 2 firsts. If not, you think you can maybe get a first and Rondale Moore?
I like that.
Yeah.
I just pulled up the trade finder. Do you want to throw a couple out, or do you want me to give you some that we got here?
Sure.
All right. Joe Mixon for Cam Akers and a 2022 second.
No.
Not enough?
Good enough. Not enough.
Let me see. Some of these are hard. Okay. Joe Mixon for Michael Carter and Damian Harris.
No. Not good enough.
Joe Mixon and a third for 2 firsts and a second.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah. That's more in line with what we're looking for there. Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine for 2 firsts. Yes, obviously.
Fine, yeah.
That's what you want to get there. Some of these just don't make any sense. There's got to be some.
Yeah, there's got to be something weird, but
something going on. That's kind of the most recent ones that I see here.
I try my first and Rondale Moore idea. Try that.
Yeah.
Try that one.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea. Yeah. Swift Higgins. That's Ed likes that side of the deal. AG with a question. 1 QB Dynasty. Laviska Shenault plus 2 seconds or Chase Claypool.
Claypool. Because Visca has like zero value to me. I have no interest. None. It's like
and the 2 picks, and I'm gonna hope that we get a good coach.
No. I don't want Visca. Visca is just done. I have no interest.
Adam chiming in. Cal and Carp, the homies. Appreciate that, Adam. Always appreciate that comment and appreciate you tuning in. Man,
I'd rather have Henry Ruggs. The people need to hear. I would rather in Dynasty, I'd rather have Henry Ruggs than Laviska Shenault. This is where we are. This is where we are in 2021. Where this is where we are in October. I'd rather have Henry Ruggs.
Henry Ruggs isn't bad.
Right, but I'd rather have him over Laviska Shenault.
Yeah. Adam says Man Bun Carp is playing for keeps. And I think you need a first at least for Mixon. I think you need more than that.
More than that.
He's playing well. Alec chimes back in. Thoughts on Waller? Drafted him as 8th overall in a startup. Tight end, start 2, 1.5 PPR, super flex this year. Got offered. So that's like a tight end premium. Got offered Moss.
No, it's a start 2 tight end.
Yeah, but I assume the 1.5 PPR is not for everyone.
No, it's a tight end premium and start 2 tight end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got offered Moss 2/3 and a 4th. I rolled on the floor laughing on that offer. Is that what he's trying to say?
Yes.
Thoughts? What you would trade Waller for? What would you trade Waller for?
In a start 2 tight end with additional 1.5 tight end premium, Waller's worth 3 firsts.
He's almost untradeable at that point.
Yeah. You said you drafted him 8th overall, so that's a first round starter pick. He's worth 3 firsts. Yeah. I think you draft him in the right spot. Yeah, he's worth 3 firsts or more. So you don't trade him or you get an insane value. I would expect Jamar Chase plus for Darren Waller in this format.
Okay, wait. This is Pitts, not Pittman, he says. So Waller and CEH or Kyle Pitts and Hunter Renfrow.
Might be a hot take, but give me Kyle Pitts.
Me too.
I don't need Renfrow. Just give me Kyle Pitts.
I'm with you. So that's correcting correcting this.
Yeah, give me Kyle Pitts. I don't even know.
We finally got it right. Nice job, Philip. Nice job. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Yeah. Then AG chimes back in here. 1 QB Dynasty Higgins plus a late 2022 second or
first.
Terry.
Terry McLaurin.
Yeah. Me too. I want
Terry. It's easily Terry McLaurin.
Joel, how are you feeling about the 2022 rookie class at this point in the season? Hold or trade picks? I'm not trading my first away.
Yeah, me neither.
For fear of the 2022 class. Your first are going to gain value from now until you draft. They're going to go up in value, not down.
It's true. Yeah. And also, I will say that, I guess I can't speak for Cal, but I'm certainly not a Devy analyst. So, and in season, I have zero time to follow what's going on in college football other than what people tell me. So, I'm the wrong person to ask for any sort of detailed Devy stuff.
We're gonna analyze these guys so much, and
we will
fall in love with.
We will just during the season. I have no time for that. I have to do start sit. I have to do dynasty rank updates. I just have to do now. This week I'll be 6 shows. There's just no way.
Ed Higgins.
Yeah, no, I don't agree. I would take McLaurin easily.
Jordan, what's going on with Antonio Brown? The Bucs seem to be in love with him. Should I be worried about Chris Godwin?
Yes and no. Yes, in that he's not going to be top 5 receiver this year, but if you probably didn't have him as that anyway, I'd be more worried about Mike Evans though. Still.
this was the problem that we talked about a lot in the offseason is there's just so many mouths to feed in this offense. Think about adding Gronk back in too.
I know. The reality of the situation is that Antonio Brown is the most talented wide receiver on this team. That's the reality of the situation. That a 33-year-old Antonio Brown may not be capable of playing a full game like he once was, but when he is playing, he is still the most talented of these three players. That's the reality. That's what's going on. You know, he has the highest target share. It's the reality of the situation. So, unfortunately, yeah, I would be worried. I don't know what they're going to do next year, if they're going to be able to retain all of these players again. Godwin was just franchise tagged. I don't know what they're going to do. They cannot afford him. But I can't imagine. It's weird. They can't afford him, but I can't imagine that he gets out of Tampa Bay either, because they're really trying to keep this together while Brady's here. So I don't know what they're going to do.
And he's probably their most valuable wide receiver in terms of dynasty value right now. Yeah.
Oh, well, obviously in terms of dynasty value. Yeah.
But you're right. Antonio Brown is, I mean, he looks good, man. Like, and when he's on, he commands a lot of targets. 13 targets in his last game.
Mike Evans is the one I'm worried about, and I've always been worried about, because players like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin is more in the mold of Antonio Brown, whereas players like Mike Evans don't age well. So if he's not going to produce consistently now and he's not going to age well, I mean, I've been saying to sell Mike Evans for years.
I will say Godwin is the only one that does not have a game this season with less than 5 targets. He is pretty consistently getting opportunities. When Brown's been phased out, like he's had a game where he only had 3 targets. Like those kind of things are going to happen.
Godwin is the safest.
Yes.
Although he probably comes, ironically, with the least upside of the 3 on a week-to-week basis.
But I think we probably feel that way because he's the only one of that group without 4 touchdowns. He's got 2. I think if he had found the end zone more, we'd probably feel different.
Well, I don't know if that's a coincidence or something predictive.
That's true. They all have about the same, almost exact same stat lines for them, except for he's got the 2 touchdowns and they have 4.
So maybe that's why we feel that way.
Ed says, I think Godwin's still the number 2. The gray area, not black and white here. We're getting in the gray. Traded Ruggs, Carr, AJ Dillon, and a first.
I think
in 2024. Okay. For Heineke, Waddle, 2 seconds, rebuilding in a failed season with a good draft on paper. So he traded Carr, AJ Dillon, and a first
format
for Heineke, Waddle in 2 seconds.
I mean,
I don't like trading a first if you're rebuilding.
Yeah, I don't either. And if this is a super flex, I don't understand.
Yeah. Let's see. I have Tua. I wanted to stack. I don't think about stacks in Dynasty.
Careful. You think you're stacking, but you're not.
That's true.
Careful.
That is true.
I don't understand this trade. This trade is awful. I'm sorry.
Still have 3 first.
Yeah, I don't. I'm a little bit confused by this trade. I don't get it.
I don't mind I don't mind getting rid of any of the pieces that you're trading away here.
This 14-team half PPR. I don't know if that changes anything.
I don't know. Waddle's the only one that you're getting back that I think is great value. The 2 seconds are fine.
Yeah, I'm just not doing this. Even if this is not a super flex, I'm still not doing this. I like Ruggs more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this trade is bad. I'm sorry.
David Shank, Godwin is still getting a good amount of targets. I'm not too worried. He, for the most part, is.
I'm a little worried in terms of where his dynasty value was. That's all.
Not any more worried than I was to begin the season, knowing that all these options were there for Tom Brady.
I'm a little more worried than I was to begin the season because Antonio Brown has looked better than I would have even thought. That's all.
Tom Brady's not going to force feed anybody. He's going to throw it to the guy.
It's not about force feeding. It's just that I'm a little bit more worried because Antonio Brown has looked a little bit better. That's all.
Yeah,
he's looked better than I thought he would. So,
John Berg, 1.5 PPR, 1.5 PPR tight end. So tight end premium, Woods and Knox for a 2023 first and second. I want the picks.
I'll take the picks.
I thought Knox looked good before he got knocked out of the game last night.
Yeah, I'll take the picks.
But I'll take the picks.
I'll take the picks. Yeah. Ouch, though. I don't want to trade Knox. If the premium were more, I would keep Knox.
Right. Jared, how much do you think I've got to give up for Mooney? Same with Hollywood. Need a wide receiver too.
Okay.
I'm not trading
ever trade for players like Mooney. You can find them anywhere. Players who are going to give you low end 3 production. If you have Mooney, you had him. You don't have him, you don't trade for him. You don't trade for Jacoby Myers. You don't trade for these players ever. So you'll have to give up a second or more, a couple of seconds probably to acquire him. Do not do that. You will not be trading for Mooney. Hollywood, different. That's a different story. Hollywood could give you, I mean, he was a wide receiver 1 going into this week. I don't know if he stayed in the wide receiver 1 range after it because it was not a good week. And he was a wide receiver 1 over the last 6 games of 2020. So it wasn't just this year.
Currently the wide receiver 5.
It's pretty good, right? So
pretty good.
Yeah. So for Hollywood, unfortunately, it's probably going to cost a first and I don't want to pay it. But if you can somehow get Hollywood for a couple of seconds from someone who sees Bateman coming back and they see, then maybe I would do it if it's really a buy low. But like I said earlier in the show, your window to buy Hollywood or to sell Hollywood close. So I guess your window to buy Hollywood is kind of open then, if you believe. So yeah, if you can get him for a couple of seconds, I'd do it. But Mooney, no chance. I'm never buying a player like Mooney.
Lamar Jackson is currently, I said this on Trade Addicts, he's currently on pace to throw for 550 pass attempts. He's never thrown more than 401.
Well, I think that
stay at that pace.
Not at that pace, but I think it's going to be more than we expected because they're incapable of running the ball because they have no running backs. The fact that they have no running backs is why they're passing more. Anything is better than running the ball with Le'Veon Bell, Devonta Freeman, and Latavius Murray. Anything, whatever it is. So that's why they're passing more. It's because it makes sense. They're doing a lot. They're actually doing rational coaching and moving away from an ineffective running game. Believe me, if they had J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, they would be running some more.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Agreed. Biduzar, love the feedback. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. And anyone, look, we're getting about 20 minutes from the end of the show here. Appreciate all the questions. Anybody that has one, go ahead and get them in. We will do everything we can to get to all of the questions today. And yeah, if you get open, Tom Brady will get you the ball. AB is getting open. That's a great point.
I
agree. Let's see. Iron Never Lies. What do you think about Bryan Edwards' rest of season? What are you thinking? Bryan Edwards.
I'm tired of Bryan Edwards. I'm tired of him. He's getting the snap share and doing nothing with it. He had one really nice catch down the sideline last game, and that was nice, but no interest anymore.
It's almost like nobody could see this coming. I mean, just nobody.
Honestly, I think that Bryan Edwards is a pretty good player, but it doesn't matter. He's not good enough to overcome a bad. I mean, look, I say this all the time. Talent evaluation is secondary to situation for all but the best players. The best players succeed no matter what. I still think from the Bryan Edwards I've seen that Bryan Edwards is a good player, but it does not matter. It does not matter because he's not getting used. He's not getting the ball, despite the fact that I think that he's good. So it makes no difference what I think. He's not a special player. He's not a special talent. So I don't think much of him rest of season. I'd rather have Hunter Wren for a rest of season than Bryan Edwards. It's not even that close, honestly.
We do have I want to get back to Bryan Edwards here in just a second. We've got a super chat coming in. We appreciate the super chats. All those get read immediately as soon as they come in, as soon as we can wrap up and get to the next one. So if that is something that you're interested in, it is a great way to support the show, and we appreciate that. Same here from you, Gray Area. He says, I didn't pull the trigger. I wanted more value in return, but I did trade Thielen, Sutton for Damian Harris and an early first. Need a running back. Let's get that one, and then I'll go back to the last.
I just got a trade offer, but we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
I want the early first, easily. I mean, I'd rather have Harris than Thielen, and by a lot, and I'd rather have the early first over Sutton. So you won. I love it. This is a big win, this trade for me. Much rather Harris side.
Yeah, great. Are you rebuilding here? Is this because based on the last trade, maybe
Makes no difference for this trade.
Yeah, I'm just curious, kind of what your mindset is. You've added some first to this team. This is here was the initial one. Ruggs, Carr, Dillon, and a first. This is the same league. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of good things there. What do you think? What do you think as far as like Damian Harris? I mean, he's getting work. That Patriots team doesn't look like it's going to win enough games for a player like Harris to be super valuable. So getting rid of him, getting an early first, I like it.
Well, you're not getting rid of him. You're getting him, but then you can get rid of him later because people need running backs.
Well, it says he traded Thielen Sutton for Damian Harris.
So you're acquiring
he's getting Damian Harris.
But that's fine. I'd still rather have Damian Harris over Thielen, and getting rid of Sutton for an early first is a good idea. So
yeah.
But yes, I would flip Damian Harris.
I'd be looking to flip him.
I'd be looking to flip
Harris.
But the early first is what I want here.
Yeah.
For sure.
Same here.
Yeah.
We don't have to dig more into Brian Edwards.
Really. He's not worth talking about.
Yeah. Knox still threw a touchdown with a broken hand.
I've done that before.
You've done that before?
Yeah.
Is that real?
Yes.
You threw a touchdown with a broken hand?
Yes. It's real.
Is there a story?
No.
No?
Oh, that's it.
Okay. John Berg, Manny Sanders, PPR value on a serious contender. What are we thinking about Emmanuel Sanders?
You can pay a third for him if you want. Otherwise, whatever. He has no dynasty value, so whatever you need.
I remember I wrote one of the few articles I've even written. I wrote and I talked about Gabriel Davis having a bad offseason, and I mentioned Emmanuel Sanders coming in, and boy, man, people did not like that.
Well, oops.
They didn't like that. Sanders is he's a real quarterback.
Yeah, no, I definitely jumped off of Gabriel Davis before the season started. I got way off, but that was mostly because he spent too much time hanging out with Cole Beasley than anything else.
Yeah. Ridley Truther, what's up, dude? He was in the comments for the Trade Addicts pod last night that I recorded, and appreciate that. Said it was fire. I love it. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time with those guys. Derek Carr, buy low window. What do you think about that? Is a first?
I don't think this is a buy low window. And yes, a first plus something significant is too high.
I feel like Carr is one of those quarterbacks that you can like. You're not necessarily paying full price for what he's shown so far, and I kind of feel like getting a coach and a coordinator that's, I don't know, like caught up to football the last 10 years is a good thing for him.
You know, the thing with Derek Carr is it's similar to Kirk Cousins. Like, these are quarterbacks I like to draft, but once the draft is over, I feel like I don't like the price on them as much anymore because they usually go to the person who likes quarterbacks like this. They don't want to do the deals. So, I mean, you can pay a first for him, first and a little piece, sure, and super flex, but I'm not feeling a buy low really.
What about would you in a super flex league a first plus? Is that too much?
It depends on the plus, but if it's a lot, then yes, it's too much.
Nathan Larson, I have Pitts already, but have a chance to trade for Ridley. Should I trade Amari Cooper and a 2023 second for?
It makes no difference whether you have Pitts already. So if you're asking, would you trade Cooper in a second for Ridley? Yes, in an instant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very worried about Amari Cooper. Doesn't look good. He hasn't looked good all year. So I'm very worried.
He looked good that first game. That was
that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. That's right.
He hasn't looked good since. He got hurt in that game too, I believe. And he's been having an injury issue all year. He hasn't missed any time. Just because he hasn't missed any time doesn't mean he's been good. He's been on reports with that all year.
Yep. The Ridley Truther says, boom, get Ridley. Yeah,
that's not a surprise that the Ridley Truther says that.
not a surprise.
I would agree and acquire Ridley.
Maybe pay a third for Manny Sanders and super flex if you really need a wide receiver, but wouldn't be really excited about it. I want to pay less.
It's hard to buy someone like that. They're probably on a contender already. So
Emmanuel Sanders is the wide receiver 15.
Isn't that crazy?
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
He's outscored Terry McLaurin, Tyler Lockett, Cortland Sutton, Stephon Diggs.
Still not
Deontay
paying more
Johnson.
than I'm still not paying more than a third though.
No,
I get it, but I'm still not paying more than a third.
So crazy. Appreciate it. So I have 4 first picks. Yeah, that's great. Like,
I love it.
Keep that. You don't need to get rid of them now. Keep them.
No, keep them. Keep them.
I mean, you can trade them, but it better be a really good deal.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. Thanks. Boom. Get Ridley. Oh, 24 hours. Hey, now, homies. I was offered Donovan Peoples-Jones for my Jimmy G in 12-team Superflex. Don't need to start Jimmy G. What are your thoughts?
This might make me look silly in a couple of weeks, but I'll keep Jimmy G. I think that there's a real chance that I think it's very clear from Kyle Shanahan's actions and words that their legitimate intention was to start Jimmy G the entire season and not play Trey Lance at all. Maybe if they were having a bad season, they'd put in Trey Lance for the last couple of games once they were out of playoff contention. But their intention was to start Jimmy G the whole year. And I think that Jimmy G actually looked pretty good when he was playing. He looked like what he is, which is the 20 to 25th best quarterback on planet Earth. That's what he is. He's somewhere between the 20th and the 25th best quarterback on planet Earth. Believe me, if you told the Steelers they could have Jimmy Garoppolo as their quarterback instead of Ben Roethlisberger, they would do it immediately, without a second thought, immediately.
So the Saints.
Immediately they would. Yeah, the Saints. If you told them they could have Garoppolo instead of Winston, they would do it. If you told the Seahawks right now, Garoppolo could just appear in your locker room and start games instead of Geno Smith, they would do it. You know, the Giants, really, I mean, who's better, Jimmy Garoppolo or Daniel Jones? Honestly, I'm not sure. I think it's debatable between those two.
Oh, interesting question. Okay, what about would you want him if you were the Eagles?
No, I'd rather play Hurts.
Do you think Gardner-Mint should get some starts this year?
Gardner-Mint hasn't even been active as the backup, so no.
He might.
He hasn't been active, so he's got to be active as who?
Do the Dolphins want Jimmy G?
No, they don't want him, but like I'm just saying that I think Jimmy G is going to be a starter week 1, 2022. I would lean yes.
He's always looked good when he gets the starts. It's just he can't stay healthy through the whole season. That's one of his biggest issues.
Like, there are going to be a couple of teams who have nothing, need something, and the draft isn't going to work for them. It's going to be a little too late. The Steelers are an example. They could be on that list. Washington could be on that list. They're probably not going to be high enough in the draft to get a really good prospect. They could get Jimmy G, a veteran. You know, the Lions could do this. Well, no, they're going to be really high in the draft, but I'd rather have Jimmy G than Goff. But they'll, you know, there will be the Saints. The Saints could be higher, not so high in the draft, and they could need a quarterback. So I would lean toward Jimmy G being a starter in 2022. And if I'd lean towards him being a starter, I'd rather have him over Donovan Peoples-Jones, who I really have no confidence in whatsoever.
Yeah. I think if you're going to trade him away, you've got to get more than Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, I'd like to get more than that.
I'm going to go click back over. We do have 10 minutes left. If you have a question, go ahead and get it in. I'm going to go through a couple of these from Twitter real quick. Ed, in what order do you want these running backs for week 7? Ramondre Stevenson. Which Johnson is that?
Dernish Johnson.
Dernish Johnson. Demetric Felton, Brandon Bolden, Kenneth Gainwell, or Devonta Freeman.
I don't want to start any of these guys, but Demetric Felton is not Demetric Felton. Dernish Johnson is the only one I would even consider.
I'm a little intrigued by Felton.
Nah.
I'm a little intrigued. He's a good little, I mean, he's going to catch passes.
Yeah, he's kind of got last. He's last of all these guys for me.
He's got that pass catching role.
Well, not Bolden. Intrigued. Bolden's even lower. Bolden didn't get like any playing time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dernish Johnson. God, I can't.
I know, but they've already said he's going to be the starter.
I can't do it.
I'd rather him over these guys.
Is Ryan Tannehill worth anything in Dynasty right now?
I mean, yes, but I don't want to buy him.
No. But I think he's getting better. He looked better this past week. Sometimes installing a new offense, you got a first-time play caller. He's going to be learning some things too.
Yeah, I'm very concerned.
James Robinson or the 201?
Robinson.
Man, he has done so much for his value. Chagro, what was the trade offer, Tyler? I don't know what this was in reference to.
Silly trade offer. It's Demetric Felton and a 5th for a 4th, which I'm not going to accept.
I'm intrigued by Felton. He's going to have a good
week.
No,
that would be me trading Felton away, which I'm not going to do.
Oh, okay. You get a 4th, whatever. 4ths are nothing.
They're not good enough.
You're going to hope you get somebody like Demetric Felton.
Yeah, I want better than that. Since now he's going to get an opportunity. That's not good enough.
Patrick says, could Jimmy G or Goff become a John Kitna? That's a throwback. Do you know who John Kitna is?
How old do you think I am?
John Kitna type.
Yes, I know who John Kitna is.
Bouncing around the league as their careers finish.
Well, Goff sucks, so no. Jimmy G, yes.
Goff is still young, but goodness gracious.
There is a non-zero chance that Goff is replaced this week.
By who?
Did you hear what Dan Campbell said?
I did.
We will evaluate options at all positions, including the quarterback. And he also said that Jared needs to do more for us. He just didn't do enough in the last couple of games. He wasn't good enough.
I think he's doing a lot to help them get the first overall pick. I think
he's doing such a good job of that.
Underestimating
the role. Be even better at getting the first overall pick if they started David Blau? Don't you think that would enhance their chances of getting the first overall pick?
I'm not messing it up if I'm them. I don't know.
I think they're going to go to David Blau sooner rather than later.
The team might rally around Blau.
They're going to go to David Blau. That's what they're going to do. I do think Goff has like 2 more games. And if it's bad, they're going to go to David Blau.
Oh, I remember people talking about how good Goff was after the first couple games. Like, he had some good numbers.
Well, now it's going to be David Blau. It's going to be David Blau very soon.
And I watched the game expecting to see like some good stuff, and it was just atrocious.
Pick up David Blau in your deep Dynasty Superflex leagues. No, I'm seriously not kidding.
No, because you might could trade him for a 3rd.
You might get a couple of starts or whatever. Trade him for a 3rd. But seriously, pick up David Blau in your really deep Superflex leagues.
They don't have anybody else, do they?
They had Tim Boyle, but he's on injured reserve. So it's Blau for now.
Lions are in trouble with that QB.
Yeah, but they got the extra 1st-round picks to take on this garbage, so it's fine.
True. Who dat? What's up, who dat? What's up, fellas? In a bye week pinch, I'm telling you, it's the bye apocalypse this week.
It's fine. This is not a hard question.
Start one at RB. Miles Sanders or JD McKissick?
Oh, it's JD McKissick.
I have JD McKissick been that good, huh?
Yeah, but it's not Miles Sanders.
I'm a little disappointed McKissick hasn't done more.
Well, Gibson is gonna miss time.
This was a good week for him. 10 targets.
Gibson's gonna miss time. He's gonna miss time. And McKissick has a joyful matchup this week against Green Bay. Terrible defense playing from behind. McKissick is RB16 for me this week.
Does Jarrett Patterson get some run?
Sure.
I'd love to see him.
If Gibson is actually out, but which I think he could be.
Yeah. Goff better watch those kneecaps. Yes, he better. Gonna start David Blau. That take really Blau's.
I legitimately think that they are going to go to David Blau in the next couple of weeks. I am not kidding. I'm serious.
Was he really
I think he was, but I'm seriously not kidding that I think they're going to go to David Blau in the next couple of weeks.
I do remember he had the first year with McVay, he was good.
He was actually pretty good all of the years with McVay. But now remember what I said he was going to be without McVay? Remember how I said that he literally can't do anything unless Sean McVay tells him exactly what to do? Well, here we are.
He outscored Drew Brees in 2018.
I think they'd be honestly
it's ridiculous.
I think they should stick with Goff because I think they could be better off with David Blau.
Wow.
Blau might win a couple of games.
Finished just behind Andrew Luck that year. Back in the good days.
Andrew Luck. But come on. Go to David Blau. Give me some excitement. Seriously.
You just said you were going to go to David Blau for excitement. I don't think that's what we're doing.
Well, it will be exciting. Whatever it is, it'll be more exciting than Goff. Goff is a snooze fest.
Oh my! I think
interceptions and turnovers and just chucking the ball all over the place are exciting. That's the opposite of Goff. Goff is Mr. Safe, Mr. Boring.
Mace with a good question. Dobbins, a 2022 first and a 2023 first. Is that too much for DeAndre Swift?
It's starting to be a lot, right? I mean, that's a little much, I think.
Even if it's late, I still think that's too much for Swift.
I don't really want to pay that. But if I'm a contender and I'm running back is what I need, and I could buy a young running back who's an RB1 for the rest of the season, I guess I'm okay paying that, but I'd rather not.
Yeah, I guess if you're running Zach Moss out there every week or something like that, Chase Edmonds,
one QB, I think I'm okay with it. If it's super flex, I'm not paying this.
Yeah, Ed had the same question. Yeah, sleeper confirmed on QB6. Who dat? I have Dak and Josh Allen both on bye. They'll go Jameis Winston at QB. My only other option is Mac Jones.
I'll put. I don't really want to go with either one. I'll go with Mac Jones.
I want to go see what the
Mac Jones is playing the Jets. I mean, and Mac Jones looked pretty good last week, sorta.
I think Mac Jones looks good.
Yeah. Winston is playing Seattle, which is like the best matchup you could ask for, but he's not going to have Thomas. So,
is it at home? No, it's on the road. Yeah, give me Mac Jones.
I'll go Mac Jones. I mean, they're very close to me. I have Jones at 16 and Winston at 18.
Just don't do this to yourself. Don't make yourself root for Winston on your fantasy team and your real life team. Let's just not do that. Just
Speaking
go Mac
of quarterbacks, I have this ranked this week. I have Tua ranked at 15 against Atlanta. If he loses and he does not deliver this week, he is going to drop even further somehow in my dynasty rankings than he already has. He must deliver. This is it. I mean, I think this is do or die. After a loss to Jacksonville, if he loses this week to Atlanta, I will confidently predict that he will not be a starting quarterback in the NFL in 2022. So this is a must-win game. He must come out and play well in a victory.
Somebody's going to think they can fix him. Somebody's going to think.
I haven't seen anything good that's worth fixing. So personally,
it's not all bad.
It is all bad. It is all bad.
No, when it's bad, it's bad, but it's not been
really
all bad.
It's been really bad.
Mace confirms that it is one QB. So I think Tyler's saying, yeah, do it.
I just think Tua is damaged goods from the injury. Something went wrong after that. Is that what the Tua that I loved in college? I have not seen that guy ever again. So you have to evaluate what he is, not what he was. And what he is a bad quarterback who cannot read the defense, who makes multiple mistakes, who can't really provide any value, and who just doesn't do anything special. That's unfortunately what he is.
Whose team continues to believe he's not the answer.
That's true, yeah.
I think that's the other thing is
they don't want him.
The more this stuff stacks up, you start to look at the stuff in the offseason and you're like, yeah, okay.
They wanted Zach Wilson to be their quarterback, but the Jets were not moving off of that number 2 pick no matter what. They wanted Zach Wilson. That's what once Deshaun Watson was not a possibility, they turned to Zach Wilson as their second choice. And they only went back to Tua because they were stuck with him. That's what happened. And it's a reality. Reality is what we have to live in, unfortunately.
Speaking of Zach Wilson, quick thoughts on Zach Wilson and Trey Lance long term.
Concerned about both. More concerned about Zach Wilson. Trey Lance. I'm concerned.
Incomplete.
I mean, for Trey Lance, though, it's similar to Jalen Hurts. Trey Lance, as long as he plays, will be a quarterback 1 for fantasy. So just keep that in mind. If he's playing, he's a quarterback 1. 100%, no doubt about that. As for how good he is as an NFL quarterback, the jury's still out. But you will be able to start Trey Lance every single week when he starts. So,
right.
I'm fine with that.
Jalen Hurts is like that, right? Like we don't know what his
not actually good, but startable in fantasy. Yes,
but you're starting him in fantasy.
But I have more confidence in Trey Lance to get his passing act together than I do with Jalen Hurts. Trey Lance is a better passer.
Wrap it up. Patrick says Steelers might take a chance on Tua next year without Big Ben around.
Maybe, but not Brian Flores. Mike Tomlin was suggesting that he wants like a real competent veteran as the next replacement. So I think they're going to look at Aaron Rodgers as their first choice. And if
Sounds
they
like
can't,
one quarterback, right? Like it's almost like you might as well just name him.
Yeah, that would be tampering. But, I think Aaron Rodgers is his first choice. And I think he might be interested in someone like Jimmy Garoppolo if Aaron Rodgers doesn't go that way.
Yeah.
So, I don't think the Steelers are looking to start over with Tua. I think that would be I don't think Tomlin is interested in that kind of project that I think Tua is.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Great job, Tyler.
Very active chat today.
Yeah, very active chat.
Very active chat. Lots of questions. We almost didn't get to the end of them.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping us busy.
For doing that, asking those questions. Hey, look, just because the show's ending doesn't mean that like you can no longer ask us questions. I get a bunch of them in on Twitter through DMs. Always feel free to hit me up that way. Tyler, I know you can hit him up by either through his Patreon.
Yes. Or start sit threads. I do that every week, multiple times. And then, I do the start sit shows on my own YouTube channel and a couple of other things. So, if you're interested in that, there's the link to my Patreon if you want it. But other than that, the Twitter is the best place to find me. Just at me or just post in the threads. They come up from time to time.
Just another gun. I'm going to get it in. Kevin, Travis Etienne for Cordell Patterson and a 2022 second. Is that a good trade?
It's very meh to me, honestly.
All right.